Jester, level 3 upgrade. This upgrade was donated to me by the Absolute One. Thanks again. As you can see, it's STRC's motor mount plate. Jester's theme is black and white, and this will be a good way to get some of the blue off Jester and start making that theme more apparent. So let's go ahead and install it and check it out. In order for me to even reach this plate, I'm going to have to take out the whole transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by removing the gear cover, which is held in with one screw. Okay, now I can just pop off the gear cover, set that to the side. Next, I'm going to open this battery compartment, pull out the ESC a little bit. Well, actually, I can just pull it out all the way. And I'm going to remove the motor. That is held in with just one screw. Take out the screw. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the motor as well. And then this just slides back and out. Set that to the side, and I can put the ESC back in there so it doesn't dangle around while I'm doing the rest. In order to get the transmission case out, I am going to have to undo the center drive shafts as well as the middle and front skid plate. So I'm going to take those off first. The front skid plate has to come off first because it hangs over the middle skid plate. It's held in with 5 screws that I already took out. Pop that out, and I just got to be careful about these little metal bars falling out. If they do fall out, I can just slide them back in. Now I have to undo these 8 screws. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the middle skid plate. And there is the center drive shaft. I am just going to have to remove the rear one. So that is held in with a single grub screw. Go ahead and unscrew this. Pull out the screw. That is convenient. Slide the drive shaft back. And this one I don't have to do. And now I should be able to just go ahead and pull this out. In order for me to take off the spur gear, including all the slipper clutch assembly, I need a 1.5mm Allen wrench. And just go ahead and slide it through that hole on the other side of the shaft and unscrew the nut. Alright, now the nut's off, pull off the collapsible spring, spur gear. This I'm going to turn horizontal because there is a small little bar in there. You do not want to lose that little bar. Now, turn this horizontal. There we go. I am going to undo these 4 screws. And finally, I reach the motor mount plate. All that's left is I have to undo this screw so I can get this peg off. And now it's just a reverse process with the new motor mount plate. I went ahead and put the peg on this one, and I reattached it to the transmission case itself. Now I just gotta reassemble the slipper clutch. Slide on the bottom pad, followed by the spur gear, then the spring, and finally the nut. And then tighten it all the way down and undo it half a turn. There we go. Now I can put this back onto the chassis. Now for the front center drive line, you'll see that there is a little line that goes across. There is a corresponding line on the front part of it. So all I have to do is match those two up when I slide the transmission in, and I should have no problems. So I'm just going to get the transmission, feed it through the bottom, and just hopefully make it in there without too much fuss. Okay. And now, once that's over with, I can go ahead and reattach the lower drive shaft and reinsert that grub screw. Alright, now I can go ahead and reattach the middle skid plate. These top 4 screws do hold the transmission down. Until I get those screws in, I'm going to have to hold the transmission in place. After that, I can go ahead and reattach the front skid plate. Now that the bottom's back in order, I can flip the RC back over, undo the ESC once again, and I gotta slide the motor back in place. When I retighten this screw that holds the motor heatsink in place to the motor plate, I'm gonna have to make sure that it has the proper spacing in between the pinion and spur gear, and you can easily just use a piece of paper for that. Now that that's taken care of, I can slide the ESC back in for good, close the battery door, and then plug the motor back in to the ESC. All that's left is the gear cover. Just make sure put that on there properly, push it down all the way and then reattach the screw. Here's before. And here is after. It was a little bit of a complicated installation, but you know what? I think it was worth it. Not to mention, a little bit more blue is gone. And once again, I want to just go ahead and thank you, Absolute One, for the donation. Simply awesome, man. And that was Jester's level 3 upgrade.